Hello, 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 and Happy New Year. I'm Dr. Kiki Singletary Williams. I'm so excited to resume our Quantum Talks 8.0 conversations. We are alive, we are well, and regardless as to whatever, I am hoping and praying that everyone has a super fantastic week, year, month, and every moment by moment that you are met with the success that only our Creator can give. Today, I want to start this segment off, and I want to talk about in 2024, we will no longer tolerate being used. We will no longer tolerate being used. It seems as such that folks who know how to give and are called givers really try to give because that's what it is that we do. And a lot of times there isn't a thought about what you can get or the ramifications thereof. However, we just give. And there are in our society a climate that has produced people who just take. They are just takers and they don't have any consciousness about doing so. So in 2024, I am letting everyone know there is new policies in place in every part of our lives. And I'm saying I'm speaking to everyone in my circle, my family. We are not being used anymore. So, as many of you know, I help to start businesses and provide trainings and just so many things. And it's not about me saying I have a wonderful team, an amazing husband and family support unit behind me. So you'll never hear me just saying I, because that's not true. However, I've put a lot of emphasis on things that I do so that I'm doing them as unto the Lord, so to speak, in excellency. Do I get it right all the time? Of course not. However, I'm doing things that can hopefully bring others to a higher standard, or they're actually moved into bringing their thought, their product, their project, their idea to fruition, meeting their deadlines, and hopefully providing a great possibility of success. So I have taken an inventory, and I have decided that I cannot afford to, and when I speak about affording something, this has nothing to do with monetary donations factors at all. But I cannot afford to continue to allow people the privilege of draining our resources. And once you have actually poured into them and giving them ideas and supported their cause and talked them off the ledge and gave them the vision, all of a sudden, poof, they're gone. Or I don't need you, or I got it from here. And it's reached a fever pitch. And a lot of times people just say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and go on. I ain't going to worry about it. And we are going to go on, and we're not worrying about it. But users, we see you a mile away. Not in 2024 or beyond. That's a wrap. It's not going to happen anymore. I remember in one of the training classes that I taught, and I was actually doing an administrator's training. And I was talking about the roles and responsibilities of the leader versus the employees in particular industries. It is the responsibility of the leader to share with folks their responsibilities and the terms of their employment. It is also the responsibility of the employee to make sure they deliver on those expectations. When you go to an interview, you're excited. Oh my God, I can do this, I can do that. I just really want to get started, on. You get the job, you get comfortable, get some things caught up. Now you start looking around to figure out, well, they don't do this, they don't do that, or I deserve better, on, which that's not the conversation tonight. So once you get acclimated and comfortable, then there is a pattern of moving a little slower, or there is this thing of I'll get to it when I get to it, or X, Y, and Z ain't good enough. Okay, so I remember sharing the specifics of how an administrator should relate certain things and expectations to the employees. We also went to great lengths to actually do role plays to talk about the scenarios. Like our training classes are going to have you prepared, but that's not the conversation. And I will never forget, there was this administrator there, and the scenario called for you as the administrator tell your employees certain things that you expect for them to do. So everyone took a chance to stand up, to act as if they're the administrator and the director, to give those employees a directive. When it came around to this specific administrator that I'm referring to, she just sat there and she said, Dr. Kiki, I can't do this. And I said, well, what are you talking about? Because we made it fun. You should have saw it. You should have been there. People were laughing. Like we had a good time, but we had a good time learning. And if people weren't comfortable with certain things, that was the opportunity for us to coach. So you're getting immersed into whatever the subject is. So that was the purpose of those role plays. And so this particular director said, I can't do this. And I said, well, what's going on? Is something wrong? She proceeded to say that she doesn't even know how to tell her employees what she expects for them to do. So those who've been in my classes, you already know. We kind of like paused everything, and I was sharing with everyone the importance of having confidence in what it is that you're doing. But as I spoke with her, it was obvious that it wasn't really about the confidence. It was something else. So between that time and the end of that session, she was then able to stand up and pretend that she was in her space, in her center, in her school, in her environment, and give directives to another participant in the class as if she was giving directives to her, the folks that she was the boss of. And she left and said, I don't know. Well, you know what? This class is really helpful to me. I don't know. And come to find out, because remember, I'm still talking about users, okay? Come to find out, this particular administrator would open the center and stay. Okay, of course, most centers open, 6:30 in the morning. She would stay from 6:30 in the morning until midnight. But her hours, the center hours actually close somewhere between 5 and 6 p.m. She would stay from the time the business closed until midnight or very close to midnight, actually doing everything that she was not comfortable asking her employees to do. That included cleaning their classrooms. Now this isn't just one small space. This was a school. She cleaned all of the classrooms. She took out all the trash. She wiped down every surface in that school. She sanitized items that had been shared and were contaminated. She swept, she mopped, she vacuumed. Okay? When she was kind of taking a long time, her spouse, who was there to pick her up, would come in the center and help her with these tasks. So, hearing that, it's obvious that Houston, we have a problem. And I wanted to know from her, what were the reactions to her actions from the employees? Like when they come in, or when they would have come in the next morning, what was their reaction? There wasn't one. It was an expectation that her rooms and the whole center is cleaned, even though they didn't do their part. So everyone had an assignment leaving that session. Everybody needed to practice some of the principles we learned and be able to demonstrate things that they were not sure of in their centers, in their places of business, and be able to share when they return. Okay? This particular provider, administrator, came back the following week. And of course, we welcome everybody in. Hey, how's it going? How you feeling? Come on in. And then we would start our sessions. Before we started the session, this particular administrator said, Dr. Kiki, I want to share something. And I'm like, okay, because you guys have to understand, even though I have the ability to help people, I know I can't help them unless they want to truly be helped. That's any of us. Like, if somebody needs help in the area or etc., until they realize I need that help, you could talk all day. So I allow her the space to share. And she immediately said, Dr. Kiki, my husband told me that I should have met you a long time ago. And I was like, oh, what are you talking about? My son said, what happened? And I said, I don't think I know your husband. Well, what's going on? So she continued to share that it wasn't easy for her. And she almost tried to talk herself out of it. But she went back to her place of business. And she just told everybody straight out the gate, listen, starting now, you have to clean your own classrooms. She gave them a list of what it is cleaning meant. Trash, surfaces, the whole nine. Their own restrooms, okay? And she said everybody was kind of looking like, okay. I asked her, I said, well, how did that go? She said, well, I struggled in being able to say that to them because I've actually done all of that for them since I arrived. And she said in sharing it, her employees was like, okay, all right. We was wondering when you was going to tell us. Okay. And she proceeded to say that the entire rest of the week until she returned, that those employees were honoring what she had told them they are now responsible to do. And her husband was really excited because when he picked her up, when everyone else was leaving, they too could leave. They can drive off. The building was secured. So she said, yeah, my husband said, oh my God, I should have been met you. Oh my God. I said, I'm not taking credit for that. You took the initiative because you saw from everyone else's reaction in this class that what you were doing, it amounted to you being used. And the mere fact that when you came in and you put your foot down and you told them, hey, going forward, this is what it is, they didn't have a problem with it because they knew what they were supposed to be doing. And she proceeded to say, hey, I didn't even think of that like that. I said, when people can get away with certain behaviors, if you don't say nothing, they will. So why am I sharing this? Because I want to bring it closer to home to let you know that every facet of contacts that I know I'm involved in, locally, nationally, globally, have already gotten the same message. No users in 2024. Now, can I help you? Absolutely. But you won't undercut me. You won't underpay me. You will not stand here and allow me to do all the work while you get all the accolades and the praise. You will not diminish who I am or what I'm bringing to the table. And when I say I mean that fully for everything in me, for all of my family, my circle, everything that I'm impacted by and that impacts the impacts that I make on others' lives as well. It won't happen. People know that if they ask certain catchphrase questions, that they can pretty much figure out what it is that they need. Even if it's a service that you provide, they're going to figure out a way not to pay you. But let me ask, 5 to 10 to 30 questions so that I can get enough information to go around you. And what is happening is it diminishes the craft. So sure, you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. But when I get contacts and phone calls and emails and there's a connection made, it's important to me that it's clear of what I need before we can continue. Okay? And I'm saying that because I tend to show up. I can stay in my lane. But even if we're meeting virtually or I'm working on a contract virtually, which I've done several times, I'm going to give 100, 150, maybe 200% towards said project. That's just who I am. And it doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't diminish anybody else's efforts. I'm not trying to win a trophy on anything. That's just who I am. So if I see an area that can assist or that can help somebody, in a different manner, I'm going to share that information. But what I'm learning is that people will slowly but surely sift you and sip off of you, and then you're left depleted and empty. I have had people come crying and calling, oh my God, Dr. Kiki, I need you, please. Oh my God, I don't need anyone else. And then when you are there for them, and now they've been taking all the life support and they can breathe and they feel like, whew, I survived another one. Then the mask comes down. And then who they truly are and what they truly think about you is obvious. So while I have, on behalf of everything around me, my businesses, my family, my associations, everything, I've declared no users in 2024 on behalf of all of us. What about you also considering areas where you are being possibly used, and work to figure out ways that that doesn't happen again? So in 2024, I really do believe it's the time and it's the season for those who have actually taken down, have been behind, who took the higher road. Like it's our time. But even in it being your time, you cannot afford to let people walk all over you. They have no conscience about it. They're trying to feed a need. Even if it means something different to you, they don't care. So you have to put your foot down. You have to let people know, hey, I am well versed in certain things, but I also provide business service and business services for these things. And I want you guys to know I'm coming from a place of peace, but at a point, you cannot operate on empty. Okay? You cannot operate on good intentions. You can't operate on, I got you, soon as my ship come in. You know, I've seen, like, as much as my husband helps people with everything that he's blessed to do, and he people reach out to him, I've seen people call and want to get consultations because they do the same thing to me. And once they have all the dots and, you know, you've talked them off the ledge, so to speak, now let me check with such and such to see when we can move forward. And guess what? I'll get back to you. Never hear from them until they're in the same pit again. And everything about all of us comes from our Creator. Your resources, your abilities, your talents, your gifts, even if you're not so sure of them, they come from above. And even if you don't see them or know, users do. So in 2024, I hope that you are spending time reflecting and also looking forward. Reflect on the blessings and the times of love and peace and success. Visit the times briefly of disappointments and sadness. But also bring yourself present to be thankful for every moment, every good grace, every good break. The idea and the fact that we wake up every day, so our mission and our everything that we should have and should be, there's a purpose for it. But in the meantime, rest assured that you have to set boundaries. You have to set a standard, because if you do not, you will be used. You will be taken advantage of. And sometimes I wonder, do the people who go around using people, do they even really care? Do they have any idea of how what they do and say, how manipulative it is? Very manipulative. So I'm definitely not here to go into that whole you reap what you sow conversation. That's not why I wanted to chat with you. I want you to realize the gifts of who you are, who God created you to be, and how phenomenal you are, and how worthy you are, and how the fact that nobody has a right to usurp the gifts of God that He's given you and to take advantage of it. I am reminded of the word of God that says your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. Because God gave it to you in His time, He's going to bless it. So don't be discouraged, but in the meantime, don't let people just use you. And so have the fortitude and the backbone to declare no users in 2024. You are not going to use me. You are not going to take advantage of me. I'm not going to do all of your work while you stand up and get all the praise for doing all of your work. I'm not going to allow you to get my services for free by having these, touch point conversations. I'm not going to tell you how I operate my business so that you can turn around and do the same thing. Now, let's be clear. I don't mind mentoring folks, but there's folks who don't intend to be mentored. They're trying to now be, on another scale or another level. And instead of asking for mentorship, they'll turn around and try to do something slick. And as I could probably share multiple stories, I won't. But I will say, if you're not setting boundaries, you can see the results of it in different parts of your life. Okay? People don't have a right to take from you. They don't have a right to lie to you. They don't have a right to steal from you, to be slick and use you. They don't have a right. Okay? It seems in more than one industry, people want everything for free. Everything. And I understand wanting to get a discount or a break or things of that nature, but that's completely different from quote unquote hiring people under false pretenses. Hey, come and work for me. I'm still waiting on X, Y, and Z. And when it happens, I got you. And then you got to beg for contracts, or you submit your contract, you got to beg for a return copy. Listen, there's too many flim-flam artists, and people have to understand that we have a right to decline. Okay? Recently, someone reached out to tell me that they're going to send my information to someone else so that I can work with them. But it was more so of helping them through whatever process that they needed. And basically, those would be pro bono services. So I declined because I don't need more opportunities to, just spread myself so thin. I'm trying to help so many people. I am helping so many people. I have helped so many people. And so I don't have time to be spinning my wheels on things that at the end of the day don't suit where I'm going or what I'm trying to do. If it's not included in my goals, probably won't be happening. Okay. Just like if I have to go somewhere and be fake and all that, probably not showing up. Okay. I have to abide in my own wheelhouse, as we all do. So I thought today was a perfect opportunity to let you guys know Quantum Talks 8.0 is still available for coaching. Yes, it's impactful, and I would love the opportunity to help you, to coach you through whatever it is that you want to be coached with, okay, or coached through. But I think this particular conversation is something that everybody can benefit from, okay? How do you decline? How do you say no? How do you, let people know that they've crossed the boundary that you've set for yourself? Those are things that it might seem like, oh, that's pretty simple, but it might be simple for you, but others may struggle in that area. So feel free to reach out. Quantum Talks 8.0, everything is confidential. We have opportunities to help you to get to the next level. Don't you dare feel like you gotta go through things on your own. But please remember that when you do go through things, it's not for you to, try to, figure out why they do this to me, all this stuff. No, I need to figure out what was I supposed to learn out of this experience. Okay, going forward, what should I keep an eye out for or be reminded of that it won't position me like this again? Okay, but if you're just willing to float through life and people can say and do anything to you and treat you any old kind of way, then those would be the results. Okay, so I've made my decision, and literally I'm seeing the results of it, and it feels so good. Okay, you have to not be so available when people call you, when they actually are talking to you sideways and crazy. Like, they're talking to you like you're growing, a horn out of the middle of your back or something. Like, who are you talking to, right? Okay, so these are some of the conversations that we will continue to have. I appreciate the feedback that you guys shared and continue to share over previous conversations and also broadcasts. Find us on all social media platforms, Quantum Talks 8.0. There will be other impromptu conversations, and we'd love to hear from you. If there's a topic that you want for us to discuss, my team and I would take a look at it and determine how we can include it in some of our weekly talks. So remember to subscribe to our channels, like, share, and for sure, make sure you're starting your every single day off with a prayer and a praise, because truly our Creator God has been very, very mindful and good to us. Okay? So until next time, no users. No users. No users. God bless you.